It's Jody Franklin here with my buddy, CEO of Pure Haven, Miranda Inglis. And I just wanted to introduce her. She is fabulous, and we're so honored to have her on today. Miranda's incredible force behind this company, and the mission and of this company is just incredible. I did a ton of research on toxin-free products, and I found that this was the only company that met all the standards that I had. And Miranda will go through all of that with you. But after a long struggle with infertility, Miranda became passionate about clean ingredients, and she found Pure Haven while searching for safe products like I did for herself and for her family. And she went from creating her own safe formulations for her family to sharing the important mission with other families. And she became an independent consultant like I am for this company, although I don't treat it like a consultant. I actually use it as a tool for my business and introduce my clients to it and other people in my industry to it because of just, wanting to spread the mission and provide clean products for people that I work with. But in October 2022, Miranda was appointed Pure Haven's chief executive officer, taking the company from women co-led to women led. So it's a women led company. She has an unwavering commitment and dedication to the Pure Haven mission and our independent consultants' success. Miranda lives in Ohio with her husband and two sons, who are her everyday reminder of why Pure Haven's mission to educate and to protect families is so important. So, Miranda, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Jody. I'm really glad that this worked out and we can get this information out to your awesome audience.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you are super passionate about Pure Haven's mission to educate consumers about the current health risks. And I know we're very passionate about doing that too, and providing safe alternatives. Where does all that passion come from?
Well, for me, I think that for a lot of people, and I assume if people are in this space of health coaching, that they've had an experience around how hard to navigate being healthy can be. And that's true for me as well. I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome when I was 19 years old. At that point, it didn't mean much. It meant, hey, I could gain 50 pounds really quick and grow hair where I didn't want, just all of these types of things that were a little, seemed cosmetic at the time, but when I met Jim, who is my husband, and we wanted to start a family, and we started counting in months rather than at months and then years, um, versus just months and weeks to when we were able to have children. It really started to hit home for me, and I knew that I needed to do something different. And honestly, for me, it started with what I was eating and how I was moving my body, which I think for a lot of people it does. And seeking out practitioners that were a little bit more integrative.
Mhm.
And it wasn't until my oldest son, Nash, was born, and he came to us pre-programmed with a list of allergies as long as my arm. And I honestly just wanted the child to sleep. I wanted him to sleep so badly, that I took him to to figure out what was triggering him. And he had a list of allergies and triggers as long as my arm. And that was when I started looking into the personal care space. I don't think until then, honestly, Jody, I'd ever turned a label around and looked at it. But
Yeah.
that's when I went from being like, yes, I want to be health conscious for my
Mhm.
family, to kind of being a mom on a mission. That it was
Right.
like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe what was in these things, and these things that I had bought that said organic on the front of the label, or they said that they were all natural, but they weren't. And I just couldn't believe it. So that's what the passion for me was, my drive to become a mother. And then from that, knowing that would impact me my entire life, and then my children, who I tried so hard to have, and then wanted the best and only the best for them.
I am so glad you brought up the infertility piece because that is so critical, and it's such a great story that you're able to have your children as well. But I
Mhm.
want to just say a lot of you may not know the mechanism by which that works. And when you put products on your skin, including things that you used in your laundry, including your household cleaning products that you're leaning up against, your skin is a permeable membrane, right? It's semi-permeable, and it only takes about 26 seconds for the xenoestrogens, the fake estrogens from these products to get into your bloodstream all, not just xenoestrogens, but all the other toxins, and wreak havoc with your system, with your immune system, and with your hormones. And what can happen with xenoestrogens when it gets into your system is it mimics estrogen. It takes up estrogen receptors, right? And this can make bile flow sluggish. So if you have clients that have chronic diarrhea, this could be part of the issue. If you have clients who are infertile, yes, estrogen receptors, estrogen mimickers, estrogen dominance, you get facial hair, you get acne, you get male pattern baldness for women. Men get gynomasty, they get the man boobs, all kinds of problems with these endocrine disruptors. We're talking about gender bending things. They even found estrogen mimickers were changing the gender of fish and alligators in ponds in Florida. And when they cleaned up the ponds, the fish and alligators went back to normal. I mean, so you could see the effects of this stuff. But when I mentioned the bile flow, we have an epidemic of people losing their gallbladders. And who knew it could be estrogen mimickers as one of the chief causes? Crap diet contributes, but estrogen mimickers can contribute. They can contribute to acne. They can contribute to breast cancer. They can contribute to ovarian cancer. So all these things are really important to look at. And it's near and dear to my heart, where every woman in my family, in my immediate family, my grandparents all die of estrogen hormone mediated cancer or other cancers, or have had ovarian or breast cancer in my family, which is really scary. And I've been told to have a prophylactic hysterectomy, and I'm not doing that. But
Well,
anyway,
and
so
that's interesting because my grandmother, I turned 40 a few years ago now. And when I did, I had this realization of my grandmother had a hysterectomy at 35. My mother had a hysterectomy at 40. There was a strong family history of ovarian and uterine cancers. And that's why my grandmother did that and my mother did that. But I was like, I was going into uncharted waters of a familial history once that happened, because they had been advised illy, I would say, to have early hysterectomies. The impact of doing that can be very detrimental on your health, but
on your bone health, everything.
overall. But that estrogen dominance that you were talking about, that was one thing, one of those five, that endocrine disruption that I was want to talk about, because estrogen dominance for PCOS, for people like me who have PCOS, that is, I always thought, hey, it's testosterone, because usually you have elevated testosterone, but you have that in relation to estrogen dominance because your body's trying to balance itself out, right? And I never realized how much what I was using impacted me until we switched everything over after Nash was born. Because before that, I wasn't even thinking about what I was putting on my body. And my cycle has been completely regular since switching everything over. I had no idea how much of an impact that estrogen dominance and those estrogen mimickers coming in through my skin. Now, I mean, your normal pathway into your body is through your mouth, right? And it's through your immune system. That's why 80% of your immune system's in your gut. When it comes in through a different pathway, it's a whole different story. Your body doesn't send you the same signals that it would had it come in through a normal channel. I'm seeing Diane say had a full hysterectomy after four.
And she had her gallbladder
out. I mean, my goodness,
surgeries
just
after
like
PCOS. Yeah.
leaning into where and this was something similar. Like, I remember waking up when I was like at 27 years old, but this is 3 years before I was finally able to get pregnant, but realizing I was on 7 prescription medications, and one led to another, led to another, led to another. I mean, all of a sudden you're like, if I'm this way at 26, 27, what on earth is it going to be like, when I'm 70, right? It's just, so I can't say enough. And to say about that endocrine disruption, a lot of where that's coming from is PFAS. So there's forever chemicals. There are PFAS or PFAS, however you want to say it. They're polyfluorinates that they don't biodegrade. This is more and more information is coming out about this. It's in water, it's in ground contamination. Phthalates are another source of estrogen mimickers. Pesticides, that you talked about, the phytoestrogens, BPAs, dioxins, and flame retardants are where these things can come from. And you could be like, hey, those don't seem as if those type of things would be in your personal care products, but they are. They're
Mm.
not always named that. They're not, they hide behind different types of names, but those types of things are in personal care, and cleaning, and good luck trying to read a cleaning label, because most of them are going to say 98% other ingredients. So especially like when you're working with your clients and talking about endocrine disruption and some of the other things that Jody talked about, this is a real issue for a lot of people, whether they realize it or not. And they may not realize that putting it on their skin is actually wreaking havoc. They're thinking, hey, it's what I'm eating, it's what I'm exposed to environmentally, which is also true. Those things are also true. And that endocrine disruption. So,
And not to mention just even the household, what you're breathing in your house, your
mhm.
indoor air quality is so much worse than the outdoor. It's just crazy. And people are using these dryer sheets and detergents that say, fragrance-free detergent. Oh, great. But what else is in there? And even these Tide Free and Clear are there, we call it greenwashing, right? All these things that you're buying at Whole Foods that say they're safe are not necessarily safe, and most of them are not. And I found that Pure Haven's definitely the safest. But Miranda, tell us, like, labels, lots of labels say organic, clean, green. There's all kinds of labels that say that. Is that true? I mean, tell us a little bit about what the meaning is behind those labels.
Um, I would say 98 to 99% of it, that is not true. I mean, they may I like to give companies the benefit of the doubt, because honestly, until you really dig into this industry, this is an industry of toxins. And even I don't give the big guys a pass, because I think that they know and they're part of the problem. But I think that even smaller people that are trying to navigate through this may make a claim that says, hey, this is non-tox, or this is all natural or even organic, and they think that they're doing better. But the reality is, most people are not disclosing sub ingredients. They are not disclosing actually what's in it, and they can say anything can be said on the front of that label, because this is an unregulated space. So what a lot of people may or may not realize, there was the Cosmetics Act of 1938, and I don't know if any of us were around in 1938. I was not. My grandmother was, and I know about how many products were available to her at that time. But this is when the legislation came in that said, hey, the overall, anything you put on your skin or a cleaning product is not regulated by the FDA. And when that happened, it was a free for all of chemicals coming to market. And what they put on the front of the label, there's no regulation that says, I mean, outside of, to have a USDA organic seal on the front of a product, you do have to go through a vigorous how you track your ingredients perspective, but it doesn't say that it's non-toxic, because there are products that have that on the front, that have ingredients on the back of the label that we would never use. So is it a lie? Most of the time. Is it greenwashing? Most of the time. Is it intentional? Increasingly so. Because I think if you would have asked me this 10 years ago or 12 years ago, I would have said greenwashing is an issue. There were some companies that were doing it, but it has ramped up tremendously, because the understanding that people are looking for safer or greener alternatives, and companies realizing that people are willing to pay for that in some cases, and they're putting profits above people's health, and they're making all of these claims on the front end, which aren't substantiated when you actually look at the ingredients. So,
Absolutely. And I have to just say, there are so many diseases of toxicity. I'm working with so much Alzheimer's, even like Parkinson's disease. autism is like 700 or 800% increase since 1995. I
Mhm.
mean, these are diseases of toxicity. And unfortunately, we are passing through umbilical cord blood the things that we're putting on our skin to our babies, and we're having babies born with autoimmune diseases and babies born with all kinds of toxicity, and this is completely preventable. I mean, not, I wouldn't say completely, because we can't control what they're putting into the air.
Right.
We can lobby for it, we can do what we can, but there's thousands of new chemical compounds being reintroduced every year, and a lot of them are going into our products. And I'm just saying, like, I used to just buy my stuff at Whole Foods thinking
Mhm.
that was safe. And when I found out that like Mrs. Meyer's hand soap and detergent is just as bad as like anything you'd buy, soft soap or anything else,
Right.
I was like, I was shocked. I was totally shocked. And I was like, where can I send my clients? And I kept sending them to buy the products from my Pure Haven rep. And eventually she said to me, why don't you just become a rep and you can send them your link? And I'm like, oh, I didn't think of that. And now it's like a huge source of income for me, just bringing, just, sharing this with my clients. They love the products. They buy it over and over. There's a huge variety. Anyway, I'm getting off track,
Yeah,
but I want to ask
but
you.
exactly. So I want to lean into something you're saying because that is one of the five as well. Immune system, like those things that you were talking about, are autoimmune diseases, whether we realize that or not, or whether the masses realize that. My grandfather had Parkinson's and dementia. That being in a lot of ways an autoimmune response, your immune system getting out of whack. Now there are genetic really scary autoimmune or immunocompromised things that happen, and some of those they have a toxins exposure reason for happening. Some don't, but the reality is if you're working with somebody who is immunocompromised, the need for them to make a switch to reducing their toxic exposure through their products is even greater,
Mhm.
because especially we talked about that normal pathway for entry into the body being your nose and mouth. This is the way that the majority of things come in, right? Which is why that 80% of your immune system's in your gut. Well, when it comes in through your skin, which you're not really designed to handle well, the immune response that happens in that, it's a silent thing. It's a silent thing that happens because if you eat something, you'll get sick. Your body will tell you. I mean, doesn't always in the way that you think it will, but when it comes in through that pathway that's outside of that normal, the the exposure doesn't have to be as high for the impact to be greater. And that's why sometimes people will say, "Oh, but it's just a little bit of something in there." Well, if you're immunocompromised or if your immune system naturally overreacts to things, like mine does, um, it's going to happen, but it's not obvious that that's what's happening. If
I'm
that
so
makes
glad.
sense.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because it's the liver. When you're eating food and you have toxins in it, you get the benefit of your liver. Hopefully your liver's not all gunked up because your hepatic biliary
Right.
congestion is all screwed up because of your xenoestrogens. But anyway, you at least get first pass liver clearance. Okay.
Mhm.
When you put it on your skin, it goes directly into your bloodstream. It doesn't have the benefit of filtering out through your liver. So what you put on your skin is more important than what you're eating. It is. And
It
people, when
is.
they hear that, and when I heard that the first time, I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this. And I learned that in my functional medicine school, that how critical it is. And anyway, so
Well, and think about that then. Think about the lack of regulation. There is at least some regulation. We can debate whether it actually is helpful, the FDA or not, in food. But to then say, knowing that information and then say, well, we're not going to regulate at all what you put on your skin because we believe that it doesn't have an impact, when in fact it has even higher impact.
it
It's
does.
crazy. It's crazy. So anyway.
It does. And then, and they're even finding a lot of these chemicals in breast cancer tissue. And it's like in all the samples that they're getting, it's like there's toxins in there. So anyway, I wanted to ask you, like, is there a red flag product ingredient that screams toxic? Like, is there anything that really jumps out when you're looking at a product? So help people out when they're choosing.
Yes, I mean, I would say, fragrance is if you were to eliminate anything that says fragrance, and don't be fooled by the front of the label that if it says fragrance free,
Or if it
um,
says natural
or
fragrance,
if it, yes, or if it says natural
that
fragrance or
drives me insane.
natural parfums, or if it says natural fragrance and then puts a little asterisk and says derived, like mostly derived from, this is greenwashing at its best because you don't have to put that word fragrance on your label. We are a good example of not. We push back against that tremendously because fragrance is a loophole ingredient. In fact, I said like 1938 to 2022, 2023, a MOCRA Act just went through and said that, hey, there's going to be some regulation in this space. Finally, after 80 years. Great, wonderful. What do? They say that that ingredient fragrance, the only thing that they have to disclose is if there's a potential allergen in there. Well, I tell you what, you try to get P&G to say what's in their fragrance blend, they will send you a list of 191 or, plus chemicals that could be in there. They won't tell you what's actually in it, and legally they don't have to. It is a loophole ingredient that companies willingly, knowingly, or unknowingly hide ingredients in. They're hiding phthalates most of the time. They're hiding those endocrine disruptors that we were talking about. And they're doing it completely. They're saying, hey, that's below the line. We don't have to disclose it. Or they are not even asking what's in it with they're making it themselves, which is also concerning. So I would say if there's a red flag ingredient, fragrance is one of those. Many people have heard about parabens. They've heard about, the sodium lauryl sulfates and what those things can do. But the trickiest one and probably the biggest one is fragrance.
Absolutely. And I when I'm getting into more and more complex cases with my functional medicine practice, and I test for toxicity, environmental toxins, heavy metals, all these things,
Mhm,
mycotoxins. And I am finding parabens and phthalates in almost everybody, like high levels contributing to
mhm,
their disease. And it's
mhm.
like, that's just because you wear all this makeup and all this, you're putting deodorant on that's like toxic and you think it's safe. It's just
Right.
amazing how much aluminum we find. I mean, we find all these toxins in people's blood. But so can you tell me just what distinguishes Pure Haven? Because there are a lot of places, and I know a lot of functional practitioners selling products that they say are safe. And then I look at the ingredient and it says fragrance, and I say, oh, it's natural fragrance. And then I go dig deeper, and the stuff in there is shocking. I'm like, I cannot believe that this person is selling this stuff, saying it's safe, and it's not. And
Yeah.
so this is why I did a ton of research, and this is the product line. This is the only line that I could find checked every box that I was looking for in products. It's not the cheapest product out there, cheapest products, because they're USDA organic. They're made in a
Mhm.
USDA organic certified facility. And I remember Miranda gave me a tour of this facility recently, and it's a farm. It's
Right.
designated as a farm. It's not a
Right.
factory, right?
Right. Right.
Because it's
Exactly.
organic, everything's edible, right? So
Right.
tell me,
Exactly. Exactly. So we really say, there are 10 things that set us apart. And you may find some companies that have one or two of these, or they tout one or two of these, but I have not found any company that has all 10. And the first thing is to understand we formulate our own products. And this is important to understand because I pretty much guarantee you 98 to 99% of the brands that you're interacting with don't formulate their own products. Because what goes into formulation is understanding the chemistry of how the ingredients come together. And so because we are formulating, we know actually what's in it. Now, the way that that second reason, even if somebody's formulating, we are forcing all of our ingredient suppliers or vendors to sign affidavits that they are actually disclosing sub ingredients. And you would be surprised how many people they will give an ingredient list, and then then you'll have them sign that affidavit. They'll be like, oh wait, there was something else in there. Usually it's a preservative. Usually it's something that's quote unquote below the line, but we won't buy it if it goes against our list. And so we are forcing disclosure where a lot of people aren't. A lot of people are like, you know what I don't know, I don't know. And I'm going to stay with that. Right. So that's the second. Third, we're third party testing. So we're third party testing for PFAS, we're for heavy metals, for contamination, for, microbial, yeast, mold, all of that type of thing, but also pediatrician reviewed, dermatologically reviewed. So we are testing throughout that formulation phase as well, and throughout, to make sure that we know actually what is in the formulation as it comes together, because not only the incoming ingredients, but as it comes together. The next thing is we manufacture. We are a manufacturer. And this is important because we know what the machines are cleaned with. We know the nth degree of what the exposure is of that product. And we know what questions to ask in those few instances where we're partnering with a trusted partner. We will know what to ask and to look for because we are a manufacturer, which is important. Each batch of ours is quality tested. So that's the fifth thing. Sixth, you mentioned it already, Jody, we are a USDA organic certified facility. We are very proud of that, because it's not easy to get. And what that means mostly is that what we say we're putting on our product is what we're putting on our product. We have to prove to the USDA every year that we can trace down to a very small percentage of error what goes in what, so we can track that. We adhere to the strictest ingredients to avoid list that I have ever seen. There are many. We will come up against vendors, they're like, you won't allow that. We're like, no, you don't use
Sodium
phenoxyethanol.
benzoate,
Yeah,
which can
sodium
go in,
benzoate,
it can go in
phenoxyethanol.
organic products. Yep.
Right. I mean, no, like some things that are EcoCert. No, we're not using them because we believe that the science isn't there to say that it's actually safe. Um, Number 8 may seem very innocuous, but it's not. It's our water. So we have our own internal water treatment facility. That's a triple process. It's filtering out PFAS. We test for that in our water, contamination. So when that water ingredient on there, it is pure water. We know what's in it because we're testing. We're
I was
never
shocked. There are like 4 giant filters in this facility. It's crazy. I'm like, wow, they really take this seriously because there
right.
is a bunch of crap in the water, and PFAS is in
There
our
is.
drinking water. It's in everything. Yeah.
It's in everything. And there's a way to get them out. Just our municipalities are not designed to do that. 9, we're never going to test on animals. And 10, everything is made in the USA. So, like I said, there may be a company out there that say, hey, maybe 1 or 2. I've never met anybody that's having affidavits signed and forcing disclosure on sub ingredients, which is a huge
And
one,
third-party
and
testing.
third party testing. And I will tell you this, and we know this because of recalls that will come out that are very clear. Majority of brands are not manufacturing their own products. So they're not taking that formulation and manufacturing on themselves, especially ones that are greener or they seem smaller, because it's an expensive endeavor to be a manufacturer, and they're not taking that burden on, but we believe that that is something that's extremely important to
I love
understand.
it. I'm just after touring the facility, I was so impressed and so amazed at the dedication. And it's just such a great company. They pay a good wage to their employees. Their employees love it there. They know Miranda knows everybody working there by name. It's like it's
Right.
amazing. It's such a great, it's like a family.
It is.
So I wanted to let you all know if any of you are interested in purchasing the products, I would really appreciate if you would use my link because it helps me offset the cost of running these groups. So it's purehaven.com/Jody Franklin. I'll have Jewel put it in the comments and in the chat here. And if any of you want to become a consultant, you just hit the button on the top that says make a difference and you can join us. It's only 35 bucks to join, and you have a business, you can earn 20 to 40% commission, plus you get a minimum of 20% off the products. And right now, the end of year sale is going on where they're clearing out a lot of stuff. You get 40% off, or up to 40% off many of these products, which is like the best time to do it.
Mhm.
You, if
And
you
on
make,
top of that, Jody, we've got something going on right now. If you join, your first order, you get an additional 40% off. So you right now as joining, we have the sale going on, plus that first order that you do within your first 3 days, you're getting an additional 40% off of retail. So
On
it's a
about the retail. Wow. So it's like getting
yeah,
40% off everything with
yes,
yeah. Oh my
yes,
gosh, that's
yes.
amazing. So I want that deal.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm already in. I can't do it.
Right, right.
But anyway, if you make a purchase over $95, you get a free bottle of the before you go spray. You could pour it to stick it in the toilet before you go. It's great to have in your bathroom, and it's not toxic. It's not adding toxic chemicals into the air. Um, okay, you can place your initial wholesale order. We talked about that within 3 days, and you receive 25%. Oh,
And additional,
additional.
additional. Right,
Wow.
right, right.
Okay. But anyway, I hope many of you decide to become a consultant. I was a little hesitant to do it at first, just because I was like, well, will this cheapen my brand having this as part of it? Actually, it adds to my brand and I love it. And I put it on my website. My link is there. I get passive income coming in every day. Like I'll just wake up, look at my email. It's like, oh, you made a sale while you were sleeping. It's great. I mean, I'm always bringing in, and people are always rebuying because they love the products. I'll show you a couple of my favorites. I love the deodorant. I think is this one of the ones
Oh,
on sales?
yes, that one.
Sale?
Yes. Actually, I think that one may have just sold out, but yes, that
Okay.
sugar pink grapefruit.
There's a whole bunch of deodorants on
Yes,
other
there are.
deodorants too, and it's the best natural deodorant I've ever used. It works really well. So a lot of them don't work very well. That one works really well. I love the skincare. I'm
Hmm.
gonna be 60 next year, guys. I feel like my skin looks younger. I mean, I'm not without wrinkles, but but definitely this has been a big part of it. I have an anti-aging program, and I include these products in my anti-aging program that I'm gonna be launching soon. So there's a cleanser, there's a night serum. I wasn't one to use a lot of products. It takes seconds just to throw it on your face after you clean your face at night. It just takes seconds. But if they have a toner, they have a hyaluronic acid. That's not included in the set, but I love this. This is like spraying
Yes.
for the face. They have a great moisturizer. I use the Beauty Booster as well. And I have noticed a huge change in my skin, as have a lot of my clients, just using these products. Even if you're not big on skincare, try it out. If you don't love the products, there is a 60-day empty bottle money back guarantee. Use everything. The skincare should last you 6 months, but
Hmm.
use it all up for 60 days. If you don't love it, you get a refund. I
Yeah.
mean, no risk.
Well,
And I love that they
and
stand behind that.
even though we put that out there, I mean, our return rate is so low because
I
people
haven't had
do
any hardly.
love the products. And similar to you, Jody, like I'm a raving fan of our skincare because of my PCOS. I had cystic acne. I was always very self-conscious about what was happening
Mm.
with my skin, and never thought that I would be like barely wearing makeup, barely doing anything, um, and feeling really confident about my skin. And then we have things across. Our goal is to be able to offer a truly non-tox alternative for anything that you have in your home or anything that your clients have in their homes, from head to toe, from our super green shampoo and conditioner or other shampoo, and conditioner lines that we have.
And I can I just say this? I use this in my practice too, like the shampoo and
Yeah.
conditioner. You have clients with thinning hair.
Hmm.
I mean, this is crazy. Look at this hair. Now, it is, and I had some recession. I had some issues with it before, and it's all grown in. I mean, I've been doing Pure Haven, I think, for 6 or 7 years now, and
Hmm.
it's all like my hair's the thickest it's ever been. We have products for dry skin. We have people have psoriasis or eczema. I work with a lot with that. I tell them about the hand creams and the dream creams and the all the even the mom balm for eczema. We put that on
Right.
after. There are awesome baby products. You want to talk about how toxic Johnson and Johnson is. Even when they order them to take the talc out of their products, they still find traces of talc in there. I mean, it's crazy how toxic that is to little babies who don't
Hmm.
have the defense mechanisms we have. They have kid products, they have pet products, they have household cleaning products. I literally went around with a bucket and threw away everything in my house, all those toxic ingredients, and I use them for my cleaning products. I use it for my laundry, everything. And I love the products. It's just been fantastic. I'm a super big fan of it. And as a consultant, I get a discount on the products. I earn a lot of free products. You can just put your sales into a party, so to speak, and get free products from that.
Mhm.
I'll tell you how to do that. But once you sign up, you'll be in my group, and I am here to help you and support you with it as well. And we have a great leader in my group who can help onboard you and get you going. And you can put as much or as little into it as you want. Margot is asking, can you tell me the new bottles of super green shampoo? Is the price per ounce more? A client is asking her.
It is the same. So we switched from it being kind of a tube that you squeeze to it being in an amber bottle with a black cap. The net weight, fill weight, we fill by weight. It is the same. It is more recyclable, less of an environmental impact switching to the amber bottles, but it is the same price per ounce. Great question, Margot.
And there's only a couple days left until the end of the month. Margot's another consultant, health coach. She's actually a master's in nutrition as well. And she
Awesome.
uses this as a tool in her practice as well. But there's only a couple days left on this big up to 40% off sale. So
Right.
if you're thinking about doing it, you could at least buy it and try some products, but I would invest the $35, become a consultant, because then you get a link immediately that you can share. And
Yes.
you can, I share it all the time. You can put it in, if you have a newsletter, you can share in a newsletter. If you have a brick and mortar practice, you can tell your receptionist to share it and you can display some of the products. There's so many of them, it's hard to display them all, but
Yep.
some of your favorites you can display. There's toothpaste, there's like everything you can imagine on there. And you don't have to stock anything. People just buy things using your link. It's direct shipped and you get commission on every sale from the beginning. There's no minimums. There's no kind of BS that a lot of these companies have. Like, oh, you must sell this much in order to make this much. It's like, oh,
Yep.
please.
None of that. None of that. Like
But it
really what we want is for people to be able to have get access to these products. And you guys that are health coaches and functional practitioners, you have a very good Jody's a really good example of this being able to be an additional revenue stream for you. You make 20 to 40% retail commission upfront, which is a great opportunity to be able to get an additional revenue stream. And as Jody said, everything ships directly to your clients, everything, the fulfillment, all of that. Customer service, we have an amazing customer service team that is wonderful for to make sure that that your customers are supported, your clients are supported as well. And it's a very once you get the word out there. Plus, people start to think about these things this time of year. Coming into January, if you're already set up with a link, coming into January and being able to share of, hey, new year, new you, cut out toxins. If you have like a challenge program that's going on, many people do that at the beginning of the year. And this can be integrated very easily into that of switching out their products as well.
definitely,
Um,
you can include it in group programs. You can do even like people going on vacation now, they can use a sunblock. Sunblock is
yes,
just so toxic. Even
it
the stuff
is.
that claims to be natural is toxic. There's nothing out there that's made from organic ingredients and does the trick really. And some of the products look small, but there's no water or very little water in these products, so they're very concentrated and they do last a while. I was surprised when I first got the laundry detergent. I was like, this little package, but it's very
It's like the
concentrated. It
scoop
lasts a
inside
long
of it.
time.
It
Yeah, this
does.
tiny scoop. It's like, what is this? But anyway, Diane is saying she has a daughter and niece with PCOS and metabolic syndrome. My younger sister died 2 years ago from
Mhm.
cardiometabolic syndrome. So sorry. We'll
Sorry.
definitely check this out. Thanks for your voices. Oh, you're welcome. And I think
Thank
there were
you,
a couple
Diane.
questions on Facebook too. Um, she's asking, can you give examples of toxins in food? That is a discussion for another time,
Oh
really.
my
But
gosh. Yeah.
artificial colors, flavors, preservatives, anything, any grain that is sprayed, that is not organic is
Or
toxic because
non-GMO.
it's
Right.
sprayed with glyphosate, and glyphosate's another endocrine disruptor. It blocks your ability to detoxify from the estrogen and endocrine disruptors too. So that's a double whammy. You're using these products on your skin. You might be eating foods that have been sprayed with glyphosate and get sucked up into the roots and things like that, things like GMO foods and
Mhm.
things like wheat and barley, all oats, all these things that are sprayed with glyphosate. And it blocks your ability to detoxify. So you're just having these estrogens, these xenoestrogens circulating in your system, and it's hard to go away. But anyway, Jill is asking, athletic wear is a huge source of PFAS. And
It is true.
yeah,
It
it's
is
true.
true. I mean, there's a couple of companies out there that are more sustainable and maybe more aware. But I would highly recommend, washing in detergent before you're wearing anything, washing in a safe detergent to work through that through. Um Let me see if we've got some more questions coming through as well. How long does it usually take for most products to deliver? Really, depending, Abby, on where you are in the US, you'll get, we ship out within a day, 1 to 2 days. Things ship out to you, and we fulfill out of Ohio, which will get to you in 1 to 2 days. So you'll get it for sure within a week. I'm not sure how long, Jody, yours usually. I'm in Ohio, so usually I'm getting it within the next day. But very quickly. Even
It
we
is
have
really quick, I have to say. I'm pretty impressed with the fulfillment end of it.
And
Yeah.
even people in Hawaii and Alaska are saying, they're getting things within a week from us. So our shipping is pretty quick.
Yeah, it's
Which
only
is
available in the US. So what I've
yes.
done for my international clients and other people that I know that want to do this from overseas, I have somebody in South America that buys $1,000 worth of products at a time, and I get it shipped to me, and then we just ship it to them, or I ship it to my assistant, she ships it to her. So
Mhm.
you could, if you're not in the US, we can work with this workarounds, but it's hard. I just want to show you like the wide variety of products. You could see my price here on it. But you could see there's so many, like this watermelon body wash, and I mean some of this stuff smells just incredible. This stuff like the sugared pink grapefruit body wash, yum. And it is all edible. I have my daughter's friends eating the scrubs. I'm like, stop eating the lemon scrub, you're supposed to use it on your skin. This acne set, I know Miranda was talking about acne. This is fabulous. I use this in my practice for my clients who have acne, and it works really well while you're working on the hormone issue, the xenoestrogen issue, and all these others. So this is the cleanest acne line ever, and it's really fabulous. If I have an occasional pimple because I had a dairy exposure because I'm highly allergic, I will use this and it goes away and it dries up pretty quickly, which is wonderful. And you can buy bundles too. People can buy, like, I recommend they buy a bundle so they can get started. So if you look on the left here, you can see you can see the year-end sale. You can click on that, but you can click on bundles and see, like, you can eliminate hundreds of toxins from your everyday products just by buying this bundle, which gives you like all the cleaning products and some of the best-selling products. So just giving you an idea, there's some a little bit of limited makeup in the line, which is wonderful. I use the eyeliner every day. I love it. There's baby products, kid products, everything for nursing moms, um, everything you could possibly imagine. Even some holiday stuff that I'm sure is being cleared out now is great.
There's still a little bit
Candles.
of it left. I mean,
I was
it's
going to say
really,
candles are not year round, so
oh,
take
right.
take advantage of that now. Candles are so toxic. I had a whole bunch of Yankee candles that it just killed me to throw away because, those things are expensive. But when I found out that you are basically breathing in tons of toxins from these candles, get yourself some really toxin-free candles. It's even the wick is non-toxic. Everything's non-toxic about it. So enjoy it. But Miranda,
Absolutely.
any parting thoughts that you want
No, I think I
to?
just want to reiterate, like we said, like 5 ways, and we've talked about them. I just want to, skin irritation can be the mildest, right? People who just have skin irritation, they have sensitive skin or something is irritating them. That can be a toxin that is irritating them. We talked about the endocrine disruption. That can happen. That endocrine disruption is huge. A lot of your clients are likely battling that along with others. Body burden, this whole idea that this stores in your body, it stores in your fat, it stores in your cells, and it doesn't have a way of getting out. We didn't talk about this, but in particular myself, my family has the MTHR gene mutation, and you likely, if you're working with clients, you may be experiencing that. that is a whole animal with detoxification and their ability to detox. And so understanding that body burden and how this accumulates over time is important to understand. We talked about the environmental impact. One thing that to understand is not only are you putting this on your body, everything you're using is also going down the drain. And it is impacting our water quality, it is impacting our environment, our soil, and water. We contribute to this, and you don't think about and that municipality is not designed to filter this out, and it's coming back to you over and over again. So breaking that cycle, it's possible to do that. And then overall your immune system, and how this wreaks havoc on your immune system and how quickly it can do it. Those are the things. And knowing that it can be overwhelming for your clients. I remember I equate it to when I first went gluten-free years and years ago. I was trying to get pregnant, changing diets. I remember I don't know if where you live there are Krogers. I remember going into the Kroger, reading every label, getting so overwhelmed, crying, and leaving the store, right? We don't want that. We don't want something additional that you and your clients have to worry about. Yes, they can read labels. Yes, you can teach your clients to read labels. Our goal at Pure Haven is such that you don't have to read the labels and you don't have to worry because we're going to the nth degree for you. It's like that mom that's behind the counter that's reading everything for you so that you don't have to read it. Um, so encourage your clients to go non-toxic. And there's still this problem with environmental toxins and lawmakers, and the answer is not going to be there to figure this out. So encouraging yourself and your clients to vote with their dollars and make a change, get behind a brand and a company that actually is, at to the degree that we can, trying to do the best for our customers, is really the way that you can make an impact. I see Abby coming through and asking anything specific that you recommend for eczema or psoriasis.
Oh, can I answer?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, okay, so the dream cream is wonderful, the hand creams are wonderful, the foot creams are wonderful. For scalp psoriasis, there is uh, super green, or is it super green
Scalp
scalp
treatment.
treatment?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's fabulous because it has rosemary in it, and it's great for people who are losing their hair too. It can really help stimulate hair growth. Rosemary is one of those things. But it works really well to soothe psoriasis, scalp psoriasis. Eczema, I really love, there's a product called Mom Balm, and I know Margot's asking about the baby set. Miranda, you can look
Mhm.
at that question, but there is a baby set too, but it includes the Mom Balm, or you can buy it separately. And that's supposed to replace like Lanasil, that stuff that that nursing
Mhm.
mothers use to soothe the breasts. But you can use it on baby, on diaper rash, on everything. The baby, they have great baby cream for diaper rash too. But this works really well for sealing in eczema. So after they bathe, they can put it on instead of using Vaseline, which is really toxic, or something like that. I'm telling you, they all use these crazy lotions. I'm in some of these psoriasis groups, and I can't believe what people are putting on their skin saying, oh, this really helps. But it's like, it's making your psoriasis worse in the long run because it's triggering your immune system. So it's like, try to,
Right.
you're there. You need to explain this to your people. But that works really well. Miranda, did you have any other suggestions for skin issues like that?
Yeah, I would say, really good. Those are really great suggestions. I would say another one that I would add on to that is their laundry detergent that they're
Mm,
using,
good
because
point.
whether they realize that or not, that's triggering. A lot of times, if somebody's presenting with eczema or psoriasis, of course, we don't say that we cure anything, right? Because there's a whole at Pure Haven. I know you guys are working toward with people for things like that, but we'd say swap out your deodorant, your laundry detergent, get the dream cream and the mom balm. Like those three things together are gonna be super helpful with someone that is having an issue, and depending on where it's at, right? That scalp treatment, great idea. A lot of times people don't realize they have an allergy to SLS, which is in a lot of shampoos and body soaps. So if that is triggering and an eczema or psoriasis flare up, my father actually has psoriasis and he uses our bar soap and the dream cream and the mom balm. And of course, all their laundry is cleaned in our laundry detergent. But that seems to be a very good combo of things.
Yeah, and SLS is sodium lauryl sulfate. So
Oh,
look for
sorry
that
about that.
in, and don't, I just want to explain in case people don't know. But There is a wellness category here. If you click on that, by the way, this headache stick is wonderful. You have people while you're working on root causes of their headaches, this can give them rapid relief
Works
for
well.
it. The comfort oil is great for joint pain. They can put it topically and it works really well on joint and muscle pain. Um, the sleepy oil, if you have anyone who's having trouble sleeping, I have several clients who swear by this and say it's the best thing they've ever used. You can just rub some on your feet. It can really help. So there's definitely some, USDA organic essential oils, which some of these other, I'm not throwing any other companies under the bus, but they're not organic. They claim to be toxin free, but they're not organic. So how can they be toxin free, right?
Well,
Um,
and I saw in the quote in the chat somebody asking how this compares to essential oil companies. This is what I would say. One, we source our sourcing strategy is very very strict. Our oils are organic. You get outside of the oils with those companies and look at the actual ingredients of the products outside of that. These are not non-tox brands. There are definitely very very harsh preservatives that are in there and ingredients that we would never use in our products and formulation. So
mhm.
the comparison just isn't really.
Yep.
So
All right, you all. So feel free to message me if any of you have any questions. I'd really appreciate if you use my link if you decide to join the company. Also, the benefit to joining my link is that we have a promo day once a month in both of my groups. And you can advertise it in there, talk to other consultants, other professionals in this field. You get a percentage of their sales as well. It's just a small percentage, but it adds up a lot. So I get a monthly bonus every month that actually exceeds what my sales are. And I know there's a pharmacist in Pure Haven right now who's bringing in like 40,000 a month in
yeah,
sales, and she's taking
yes,
home 40% of that. I'm like,
yeah,
holy smokes.
she's doing awesome. And
Yeah.
and that just shows how much of a market there is for this. When
Mhm.
you add something like this to a holistic practice or trying to get people toward wellness, that additional revenue stream can be extremely lucrative for people as you add that to your reach of what you're able
Yeah,
to
and even if it just
impact.
brings in a few $100s a week, it's great. It can help offset the cost of your practice, of your brick and mortar. You can pay your rent. I mean, and then
Right.
I have a lot of friends that are just crushing it with this company that are making a real full-time business of it, but you don't have to. You can just be a tool for your business like I do, and you can do as much or as little of it as you want, but you get the discount for yourself and you can share it and help your clients achieve their goals, their health goals by having products that are completely 100% toxin free guaranteed. So I
Yes.
love the commitment of this company. Miranda, it's such a pleasure to have you today. I am so honored that you came in this group. I'm such a
Thank
huge
you.
fan of you and the company, and you're a great spokesperson for it. You're just amazing, and your journey is just so inspiring. So thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Thank you. I'm very blessed to be able to do something that aligns so strongly with the passion that I have and be able to have this impact and be able to meet amazing people like you, Jody, and like many of the others that I've met through this journey. So thank you so much. Thank you for those that you that tune in live or those that are watching the replay. I appreciate you just tuning into this and leaning into how you can make an impact. And I hope to see some of you guys join our ranks and join Jody's team. Easy for me to say.
All right, you guys take care. Thanks. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New
Bye-bye.
Year. Bye.